on to our next segment, which is messy Brandi Glanville. Okay, let's talk about messy ass Brandi Glanville. I'm surprised. I'm surprised Brandi is. This is the thing. How was Brandi able to continually get jobs with how messy, violent, rude, disrespectful, and problematic this chick has been? As a super quick recap of this chick, she's physically assaulted people. She slapped Lisa Vanderpump across her face. 0 repercussions. In fact, they were making like a joke of it. Andy Cohen literally called her like a puppy when talking about her physically assaulting Lisa Vanderpump, slapped her straight across her face. She was also physically violent when she threw wine into Eileen Davison's face simply because Eileen was talking about, her husband and their situation and infidelity and divorces. Eileen was just having like a girl-to-girl conversation. Like, yeah, I've been through some stuff too. I've done some I'm not proud of, but now we're here and blah, blah, blah. Eileen was having a kiki. And Brandi lost it. Let's not forget that Brandi told Joyce that, what was it? That she can't swim because, she told Joyce that Black people can't swim. That was Brandi. Brandi lying on Denise saying they hooked up. Girl, we don't believe you. Backstabbing Kim Richards. Turned on Kim in a heartbeat when she thought she was going to be in cahoots with Erica Jane, Lisa Rinna, and Kyle Richards. Okay? And not to mention Brandi cussing out that teenage girl, her son's ex-girlfriend. She says she was drinking and popping pills. She blacked out and she was rage texting this girl, and the girl posted it all on TikTok and stuff, okay? Brandi has still been able to keep a job. After all of that and more, because those are just the highlights, she's still been able to keep a job. Now, sorry guys. Now, we know that Brandi was kicked off of the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. We know that. There was stuff saying that she was being inappropriate with Caroline Manzo. We're going to get into that. We've already covered that. This is what's new. This is the new tea, okay? Now they're saying that there was a second incident of Brandi being sexually misappropriate with somebody else on set, okay? That's the new tea. This is according to page 6. It says erratic. Brandi Glanville involved in 2 alleged lewd incidents on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls set. Okay. Page 6 is told that TV producers decided Brandi Glanville should be removed from the Ultimate Girls Trip after she was involved in 2 alleged lewd incidents, which made them believe she was behaving erratically. Okay, side note, erratically, I think is code for she's popping pills and drinking alcohol. She's unstable. Maybe there's also some type of mental break there. I'm not a doctor. I don't diagnose, but I just feel if somebody is using the word erratically, to me, when I think of erratically, I think there's some type of mental break that's going on, or there's some type, or like a drug-induced something. When I think of erratic, I think to me, erratic is very scary, like somebody's having like some type of mental break. That's just what I think. Okay, let's keep going. It says, we previously reported that the veteran reality star was sent home to the States from a shoot for Housewives spinoff's Ultimate Girls Trip in Morocco after she allegedly touched co-star Caroline Manzo in the breast and genital areas while they were off camera in a bathroom with 2 other cast members. Okay. Let me dive into that a little bit too. Don't forget, it was also alleged, I'll just say alleged, it was also alleged that Brandi had stuck her tongue down Caroline's throat. Remember when they were saying, "Oh, it's unwanted kisses." And then it escalated to she pinned her in the bathroom. She was touching her breasts. She was kissing her, shoving her tongue down her throat, and touching her vaginal area. Again, all non-consensual, unwanted. The bathroom was locked. That's a very scary situation. And they're saying that it was Alex McCord, who's a Real Housewives of New York alum, was the one who was able to unlock the door so that Caroline could leave. I was watching Brandi's, and not that we need any more proof, but to me, this is going to show a pattern of behavior. I was watching Brandi's podcast, and when Austin was on it, because I like Austin. Anyway, that's for another live. When Austin was on it, and it was around her birthday, and she was like, yeah, I got really wasted for my birthday, and I just stuck my tongue down everybody's mouth. And I'm like, oh. So the gag is, you are already saying you get drunk and you stick your tongue down people's throat, and you're laughing about it. And I think one guy, she said, was like married or something, but she's like, oh, it doesn't matter. It was my birthday. I was drunk. Yeah. And then fast forward, that is the same exact behavior you're being accused of, being wasted and sticking your tongue down people's throats. What is that called in court? Pattern of behavior, circumstantial evidence. People always tell on themselves. But let's keep going. Then it says, after we published that story, Glanville appeared to cast doubt on it by tweeting, check your sources, people, followed by the poop emoji. Okay. Now, this is when these people are so dumb. This is, okay, you're caught, Brandi, you're caught. You got fired and you're caught out there, and you say, check your sources. This is when you should just sit down, be quiet, and have several seats and eat some humble pie and just hope and pray you still get another pass one day, the way that you've gotten passes for year after year. But no, you want to say check your sources because you think you're dealing with Bravo, but the gag is you're dealing with Peacock. And those are two different animals, two different beasts. Bravo does not own Peacock. Two completely different sets of executives. Completely different. That's why the Bravo executives never checked you. And that's why you went over on Peacock acting like a damn fool. And for the first time, you got checked, because these are two different people. Bravo does not own Peacock. Different sets of executives. NBC owns Bravo and Peacock. They are sister companies. That's why on Peacock, they stream Bravo shows and all these other shows and all these other movies and all this other stuff. The streaming platform for Bravo is the Bravo app. The streaming platform for NBC is Peacock. So you got over there at Peacock showing your ass, showing your butt, and they checked you. And for whatever reason, you still think you're messing with Bravo, but you're not. You're messing with the executives, chef kiss at Peacock. So you thought you were checking somebody, being like, check your sources, when the sources was the executives. So they called your bluff. Let's keep going. Now we're told the execs were also concerned that Glanville 50 allegedly loudly addressed one of the show's producers by name in front of a room full of cast and crew shortly after the alleged incident with the Real Housewives of New Jersey alum Manzo 61 and said, do you want to F me tonight? So, Brandi, you tried it. You told us to check our sources, and the sources says checkmate. Because now we know even more about what you did. Maybe this is even why they finally decided to send you home. Because don't forget, after what you did to Caroline, they let you stay the night and you weren't sent home until the next day. Because remember, all the reports said that they sat you down and they talked to you about the situation and they gave you the opportunity to apologize to Caroline, and you apologized to her. But then the next day, then they decided to send you home anyway. So now we know it was more than just Caroline. You said check your sources, and the sources said check this out. Now we're spilling more tea because they never said any of this before. Brandi girl, you should have just sat down and shut up. If you weren't going to be humble and apologize, you should have just said nothing. But now you're really messing up for yourself. Here we go. It says sources say Glanville and the producer are old friends and that he or she took the alleged remark as a joke and that they didn't want to see her get in trouble because of it. We were unable to reach them for comment. It seems that the second incident only became a source of concern after staffers began reviewing tape and interviewing witnesses as part of the investigation into the Manzo matter. Girl, they spilling all your tea. They spilling all your tea. You shouldn't have said check your sources. They're like, oh, really? Here you go. But it seems Execs from Shed Media, the production company that makes the show for NBC Universal, flagged it as inappropriate after the fact. It's possible that their sensitivities were heightened because of the Manzo incident. After all, Real Housewives stars very frequently behave erratically on the long-running Bravo shows, especially after drinking alcohol provided for a shoot, and risque scenes aren't uncommon. We're told that the following day, see, I told you, execs decided the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum should no longer be on the set because of the pair of alleged incidents, and they moved her to a hotel away from the rest of the cast the next night. Sources say Manzo only began to put her discomfort about the alleged bathroom incident into words the next morning. And I get that. I would be freaked out if there was a wasted, erratic individual who is locking me into a bathroom, sticking their tongue down my throat and touching my breast and my vaginal area. I would feel some type of way too. And with all of the production, with all of the other people, there is nobody there to stop her. There is nobody there to protect me. And also, don't forget, the set is them being on vacation. But the gag is they are at work. So it's one thing if you were on vacation with a friend or a friend of a friend, and you guys are out, the friend of a friend, because obviously Caroline and Brandi aren't actually friends, but obviously they're all acquainted, right? Because they're all Bravo celebrities that they know of each other at the bare minimum. You're on vacation with a friend of a friend, and one of their friends starts wiling out. That's one thing. But imagine you're traveling with your coworkers for work, and your coworker in front of all of the bosses and executives starts tonguing you down and all of that stuff. So yeah, we get it's a show, whatever, but at the end of the day, these are employees and they're at work. It just so happens that their work set is quote vacation, but they're picking up a paycheck. They're clocking in, they're clocking out. That's why there's an HR on site. They're doing a job. They're doing a job. They're not really on vacation with their friends. Let's keep going. They put Glanville on a plane home the next day before filming for the third installment of Ultimate Girls Trip had wrapped. Manzo also decided to leave early, and I get it too. And also it's like, this is also another thing that why I feel for Caroline is, say the incident wasn't that traumatizing for you, right? Say like, okay, somebody's wasted, they're touching me, they're trying to kiss me, get off me, it's annoying. I also think there's a level of embarrassment. Even though she's the victim and she shouldn't be embarrassed, Caroline is a woman of a particular age. She's a woman of a particular generation. You know, there might be some embarrassment there, even though it's not her fault, even though it has nothing to do with her. A lot of times, victims feel shame and embarrassment for what has happened to them, you know? And I could see Caroline having that personality, not even personality, because I'm not trying to minimize it by any way. I'm actually trying to show a lot of compassion for her and a lot of empathy and a lot of sadness, because you don't know how you would respond when somebody's wasted and they're touching your breast, they're touching your vagina or your genitals, whatever type of genitals you have, sticking their tongue down your throat, locking you in a room, and then everybody's talking about it. You have to get questions about it. You have to be interviewed about it. There's an investigation. Like, you could start to feel some type of way. Like, you might start to feel ashamed or embarrassed or uneasy, even though it is not your fault. So, Brandi, listen, they don't need to bring Brandi back to anything. Brandi, you need to call Zeus. Who's over at the Zeus network? That's the people you need to talk to, because we don't want you on Bravo. We don't want you on Peacock. We don't want you anywhere. Boo-boo. Okay. We're told that Glanville, who has admitted to having an at least occasionally unhealthy relationship with alcohol and pills, and this isn't me saying this, she said this herself. She says she drinks alcohol and pops pills, a la Erica Jane, a la Lisa Rinna, a la da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. And whose drinking has been a long-running point of concern among her Real Housewives of Beverly Hills castmates. Had been drinking alcohol before the incident, which had been provided by the production company, and appeared to be drunk on the evening in question. That's another thing, right? Where is the liability also? Yes, all of these women are adults. And as an adult, you have the responsibility to decide how much you drink or not drink. However, as an employer, what is your responsibility knowing that your employee struggles with substance abuse? And by substance, I mean alcohol. And you continuously not only supply them with it, but you encourage them to overindulge because you want to get the best shot. You want to get the best scene. You want to get the most drama. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. I don't know if it's a legal thing, but I definitely think there's an ethical question there. I think it's a big ethical question of, is somehow Shed Media and Bravo and NBC and whatever other production company there is, and Peacock, what is their ethical responsibility when they are supplying and encouraging people with a known history of substance abuse and maybe some mental health issues to drink in excess? I don't know. I think particularly also because they are supplying it, that to me is also a bigger ethical thing as well. If I want to go out and get all the booze I want to get, okay, but you're supplying it to me, and then being drunk and poor behavior is then being reinforced. I don't know. I think it's just a question to think about. I don't think there's an easy answer there, but I definitely think there's something to think about. Okay. Sources say that earlier that evening, Glanville and Manzo had at least 4 tequila shots each and began making out. Glanville, quote, stuck her tongue down Manzo's throat, like we talked about earlier, according to sources close to the latter. But sources close to Glanville denied that, adding that after the alleged touching incident, Manzo says, "I've been kissed by women before, but I've never kissed back until this evening." Sources close to Manzo say she has no memory of saying that. Peacock, the NBC Universal streaming platform that airs the show, declined to comment. Glanville referred Page Six to a rep who declined to comment. I believe Caroline. Because Brandi, like I said earlier, you already told on yourself. You already said on your own platform, in your own out of your own mouth, because I heard it with my own candy cane ears. You already said you get drunk and you stick your tongue down people's mouths. You also, and I want to be very careful when I say this, because I'm not trying to draw. How do I put this? Okay, Caroline has she's in her masculine energy, right? A lot. Caroline is, she's a matriarch. She's a matriarch of her family. She runs the boys. She runs her husband. You know what I mean? She's a matriarch. That's why people are like, oh, she's like the female godfather, right? She's in her masculine energy a lot. She comes from a place of authority. And I say that to say this. Wasn't Brandi's whole shtick, her whole thing, was that she could tell if someone was a lesbian by their eyebrows? Follow me with this one, you guys. I'm obviously not saying Caroline Manzo is a lesbian. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that at all. She's married, she has kids, not saying that. But she does give off more of an authoritative masculine energy. And by masculine energy, I'm not talking about sexuality. I'm just talking about the essence and attributes of the actual energy itself. That can be man, female, boy, girl, whatever, right? I wonder if there was something there with this whole situation, now that we know Brandi is saying, like, well, Caroline said, I've been kissed by girls before, but this was the first time I ever kissed back, and blah, 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 blah. I don't think Caroline would say that. Doesn't really sound like her, 4 tequila shots deep or not. But I wonder if there is something that triggered the whole situation with Brandi and Caroline around the way Caroline presents in a very masculine energy. And that's fine, because to be honest, right now, I'm in my masculine energy. I'm in my masculine energy right now, because I'm talking to you guys and I have to, read the stuff and come from a place of authority and have an opinion and lead the conversation. So right now I'm in my masculine energy, we all go in and out of it. So right now, me, myself, I'm in my masculine energy right now. So I wonder if there was something with that. And I only say that because it just kind of gets my spidey senses going with the whole situation. I don't know. Time will tell. But I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below and stick around my candy canes, because I definitely want to take some of your candy cane questions and comments. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that this is the Peacock executives clapping back at Brandi? She said, check your sources, and the sources says, check yourself. We're going to spill all of your tea. By the way, she wasn't just a drunk mess with Caroline. She actually told one of our producers, do you want to F me tonight? Which escalated the situation. So, Brandi, if I was you, I would sit down, have several seats, be quiet, and close your mouth and close your legs to people who don't want any part of you. Okay? So put it down below. I want to know what your thoughts are. And stick around, Candy Canes. We have 2 more stories, and then I want to take some of your candy cane questions and comments. But before we do that, you know what to do. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, be sure to share this with a friend, because a key is always better with community. Check out the description box down below. Join our newsletter. It's free. You get a free self-love guide. Check out our podcast, movies, and more. Okay. So with that, you guys, let's go on to our next story. And this is Vile Kyle is